Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101. Steve from Chicago Heights is taking credit for the movie today. He says, I was the one that recommended Almost Famous, the case about 5 months ago. Glad he's finally getting around to it. A little bit of attitude from him on the text line, Steve from Chicago Heights.
You lazy piece of crap, but you're getting around to it.
We were waiting for the 25th anniversary. I had so many people request this. We were timing it for a very specific reason.
It is time indeed for Case's movie review. Let's get into it.
For Christ's sake, tomorrow's the 4th of July, and we will be open for business.
What country you from? What ain't no country I ever heard of? They speak English and what?
Utah. Give me 2.
Do you enjoy pain?
Pain don't hurt.
Wax on, right hand. Wax off, left hand.
Now fry like bacon, you little freshman piggies. Fry, fry!
Playing football in West Canaan may have been the opportunity of your lifetime, but I don't want your life.
All right, Steve in Chicago Heights, you got your movie, Almost Famous, premiered September 8th, the year 2000. So celebrating the 25th anniversary. Can't believe it, at the Toronto International Film Festival is where it debuted. Released theatrically a few weeks later, September 22nd, 2000, with a budget of $60 million. Box office was only $47.4 million. I didn't know this was a flop.
It was.
At the box office.
At the theater.
At the theaters. Almost Famous received widespread critical acclaim, though, on Rotten Tomatoes. It holds a 91% approval rating based on 227 reviews with an average rating of 8 out of 10. Cameron Crowe won an Academy Award for Best Original Screenplay. So they got their payback on the box office not doing well, and it did great afterwards. Obviously, I think most of our listeners have seen Almost Famous. By the way, next week, Case reviews another music movie, Spinal Tap, to coincide with the release of Spinal Tap 2 next week. That, I got to get to the theaters for Spinal Tap 2.
I just saw a trailer. I was at the movie theater on Monday. I saw a trailer for Spinal Tap 2. It looks really, really funny.
And you've never seen the first movie.
I have
It is
not.
outstanding. You've just heard the lines that everybody does.
But yes, you.
From me, which is why we started this whole thing, if you're new to the show, because I was doing all these movie lines in Case had, up to about a year and a half ago, coming up on 2 years, had never seen movies except for Boys in the Hood and Norbit, and now he's seen everything, or at least we're getting there.
We're getting there.
And now we're Almost Famous. So, Case, what did you think? What's your first thoughts and take on Almost Famous?
Oh, man. This is one of those movies. I had the same feeling watching this that I had watching Varsity Blues, which I actually think we reviewed a year ago this week. It's one of those movies that made me regret every single decision that I've made in my entire life. I don't know what I've been doing for 26 years. I should be out on tour buses, on planes, having adventures, meeting scantily clad women. I haven't done any of that. I've been inside the entire time.
See?
I know. I don't know what I've been doing wrong. This movie...
You could have saw this movie. You were born in 1 year before it came out.
Yeah.
If you saw this when you were like 3, your life would have been different. You would have modeled your life.
That would have really made an impact on me if I watched it at age 3.
Yeah, I think so.
Man, it's just, this movie was so much fun to watch because I had heard of some of the characters' names, and I knew that it was a movie that a lot of our crew members really liked and respected, but I didn't really know what I was going to get into. I try to go into a lot of these movies blind and not read too much before I watch them, and I was just put in a universe that I so desperately want to be in, even if I don't necessarily enjoy the music of this era. You know, Jethro Tull does suck, and Led Zeppelin does suck, and Aerosmith does suck.
Calm down over there on Zeppelin.
Relax, that's not true.
Wretched music. But I do...
What a curmudgeon.
I do. Well, I love music. It's just this particular era of music is the worst.
The 70s you don't like.
Not until Blondie comes around, and then things get better. But anyways, it's an era that I do romanticize quite often. Like, I wish I could be working for Rolling Stone when they really mattered. I wish I could be working for Cream Magazine when they really mattered. And this movie is so rich with all of these memorable characters, from the wide-eyed teen to the hysterical mother to the hearted rock critic to the insecure singer to the overly confident guitar player to the whimsical roadie to Jimmy Fallon, who plays this hotshot manager. Why has Fallon been ruining The Tonight Show for 10 years? He's a great actor. He should do more stuff like this.
Wow, good take.
Oh, my God. It's not only something where it's like, oh, every character is super memorable and they all have these great lines, but then you go down the list of the cast, and it's Philip Seymour Hoffman, who I fell in love with watching Twister last year, and then it's Jason Lee, who I love from My Name is Earl and his professional skateboarding career, and then you have all these fun anecdotes in there. You know, you've got Fallon, you've got Zooey Deschanel, you've got Mark Maron, who I'm a huge fan of. You've got Eric Stonestreet, who was Cam in Modern Family. Rainn Wilson, who was Dwight in The Office. He's in this movie for a little bit. It's so much fun to watch 25 years later because so much of the cast, even the minor characters in this movie, they've all gone on to do great things.
Yeah, Cameron Crowe has a knack. I mean, he wrote Fast Times at Ridgemont High. He did Jerry Maguire for finding people, and some of these people already had somewhat of a career, but everybody after his movies becomes monstrous in the movie industry, and he's had a knack to do that with every film he's done.
I got to get in one of these movies.
I'm telling you. and Kate Hudson as Penny Lane. She basically was that in real life, too, because she married the singer of the Black Crowes. I mean, she basically,
really?
Yeah, she kind of was a groupie in real life, and here she is, pretty good actress, and also a groupie.
I guess let's talk about Penny Lane real quick. I got a lot that I want to get into, a few clips we want to play, but Penny Lane, from an objective, I'm reviewing this movie standpoint, great character, super memorable lines. I love when they're on the bus and they're all singing Tiny Dancer, and then the kid goes to her and he's like, I gotta go home, and she goes, you are home, and then puts her head on his shoulder.
Ooh.
Highlight of the movie. Fantastic stuff there.
Deep moment.
Yeah, love it. She's great in it. Me, personally, speaking as myself, Penny Lane, get a job. What are you doing? It's just so annoying the way she's talking about, oh, back in the real world, they would say this, and nobody knows her real name. Stop that. Get a job. Say your real name and act like an adult, even though she was like 17 in the movie, which is a whole other thing. She's so annoying.
Hey, times were different, man.
She may even be younger than that when he goes, how old are you really? Remember they did a little scene in there? How old are you really? And I think she says 15, which is very problematic.
On 18. You know? It's definitely younger. Which, again, like, you know, Kenzie, you joke about that, but it's like, I don't want to pick apart the whole age of consent thing in this movie because that's just how it was, and it's not good, but that's just how it was.
And again, it's the era. I mean, it's not like it was, lies. I mean, it's kind of what was going on back then in the 70s. So
it's not like you're condoning it, but it's like, well, if we're making a movie about that time, this is what was going on.
Up until 10 years ago, bands were almost exclusively sleeping with women underage. Really, some of these Warped Tour books, not great.
It was like their favorite thing. It was like their hobby.
They couldn't stop.
I'm sure they're all following the rules now.
Oh, yeah.
And the thing is, I think there's a lot of our listeners that relate to loving a band and following them on tour. Whether you relate exactly to Kate Hudson as Penny Lane, sleeping with everybody and all that, but literally, I know a lot of people, including my wife, used to follow bands what she was really into and go to other cities to see them. No, she didn't do any other stuff. She was not Penny Lane.
Wait, who did she follow?
Like she went back in the Dave Matthews Band days. She went to other, don't roll your eyes at that.
Talk about get a job.
Oh,
good Lord.
Coming from someone who notoriously hates fun, this is a fun thing to do. Is follow a band around to another city and did that. A lot of people did that. I think listeners, all the stories I followed them around when you didn't need to have a job when you were 15 to 20.
Well,
whatever.
14 to 17.
I don't want to go lower than 15.
I do think you hit on something there. The beauty of this movie is that everybody cares really deeply about everything that's going on. And I personally get annoyed because I feel like everything that we're doing right now is very irony-coded and people are afraid to take music really seriously. And I think we put up with, especially in the world of adjacent to us, but top 40 stuff, like we just now accept bad music and it becomes really popular, i.e. Benson Boone. It really bugs me. But everybody in this movie really cares about everything that's going on, and I think that's a really beautiful thing. And Jason Lee sums it up when he gets interviewed for the first time in this movie. They're just about to go on stage opening for Black Sabbath, and he talks about the buzz, and it's so beautifully said. It's why this world that we live in is so great.
Some people have a hard time explaining rock and roll. Really explain rock and roll. Maybe Pete Townsend, but that's okay. Rock and roll is a lifestyle and a way of thinking. And it's not about money and popularity, although some money would be nice. But it's a voice that says, here I am, and f*** you if you can't understand me. And one of these people is gonna save the world. And that means that rock and roll can save the world, all of us together. And the chicks are great. But what it all comes down to is that thing. The indefinable thing when people catch something from your music. What I'm talking about is... Wait, what am I talking about?
The buzz.
The buzz. And the chicks The whatever is an offshoot of the buzz.
The buzz that we just came out of Q101's Holy Week. The whole week was about the buzz. That's the greatest thing I've ever heard.
It's about the chicks and the buzz and the music. Yes, the buzz. He's so confused in what he's trying to say.
I remember when Dave Matthews was talking about that, Megan was in the background.
That's right. Megan was going like, yes, the buzz.
The buzz and the chicks.
The buzz. That's what it is. Listen, we're going to come back. We're up against the break here. We're going to finish up the review of Almost Famous, get your rating of it. It sounds like you like it, but you never know. There could be a dark side coming.
We haven't even talked about Philip Seymour Hoffman yet, and I have a lot to say on him.
I love him.
Good. Stick around.
Yeah, and a guy that was not in the movie that long, and sadly not with us that long, but boy, did he steal this movie. That's all coming up in 6 minutes.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
Well, it's Case's movie review. We went through the break there, and we were talking about the movie Almost Famous. 25 years ago, it came out. And what a phenomenal film from Cameron Crowe. Case seems to be liking it. So far, we don't know what the rating is. That's coming in a second. But Almost Famous. And we left off talking about Jason Lee's character as a singer and the buzz.
The buzz.
The buzz. People don't know about the buzz.
That's why we do all this, is the buzz.
And I want to make sure that when we do these, Kate, we do talk about it a little bit earlier in the week, that if you haven't seen these movies, watch them before the review. So a lot of people texting in along with your comments on Almost Famous. But what's next in the movie before we get to your final conclusion on it?
Well, I mentioned earlier, I think the thing that's great about this movie is that I watched it and I wasn't even really sure what it was about or the larger thing that it was trying to say. And I actually liked that this time around because the world that was depicted in this movie was so rich and felt so realistic. There were all these great characters. And I think no matter who you are, if you watch Almost Famous, you're going to find somebody in the main cast that you relate to. And for me, that was the character that Philip Seymour Hoffman played. And I know him from Twister last year, and then I've seen Moneyball, which he's great in, and I've seen Along Came Polly, which he's great in. And I really, these are the only 4 movies now that I've seen him in, but I know the reputation that he has, and I've been blown away anytime that he's come across my screen. And watching him as, I don't know, how would you describe it? A curmudgeon-y music critic?
He's you. He's basically
he's
you.
The guy that I related to.
You crap on everything popular.
No, that's not true. And I don't like that you said that. That's not fair at all. I do not hate things just because they're popular, and I do not hate popular things. I was at Oasis last week, and Mike came, and then I had horrible Lumineers FOMO. I have strong opinions on what I like and dislike, and I think everybody should. I've made people upset saying that I think Led Zeppelin's a bad band. I think they're terrible. I could go the rest of my life without hearing them. I wouldn't miss them for a second. But there's things that I love that are popular. I really don't like when people say that.
I'm going to take a line from Damone, because you've now seen Fast Times Ridgemont High. I take it back. I take it back. Didn't mean okay. I take it back.
Cheap Trick, man. The tunes, like I can do Des Moines too. But,
you're right. I didn't mean that way.
Because I think sometimes I have that reputation because I do a case for and I talk to a lot of these underground bands. But I do that to try to spread my arms out and bring people in. I want people to when we do Twisted Christmas to be there for the opening band if it's a band that excites me. Yeah. I also want them to be there for the headliner.
That's right.
So I don't feel like maybe I'm wrong. I don't feel like I come across as pretentious. I think I come across as knowledgeable sometimes, but I don't, I mean, if you like something that I think sucks, I'm going to tell you that I think it sucks, but we all like things that suck. That's fine.
It's okay to like things that suck. Yeah. That's the best thing about music.
Yeah. The nice thing, I really wish people were more defensive about the music that they liked. I wish they wore like a sports jersey sometimes. I think that's
sometimes
great.
It's not that deep for some people though. Like sometimes I'll be like, I like that song, and you're like, oh my God. And I'm like, okay, well,
but
it's
I think
a
that's
catchy.
crazy because I think if you like a song, it should say something larger about you.
But God forbid it just was catchy in the background once. Like, I'm like, whoa. I didn't say it's the best song ever written. Let's calm down. Like, let's bring it down.
All Kenzie said was like the part when it goes, la, 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 da, 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 da.
Oh, that was kind of catchy. Do you even know? I'm like, whoa.
Listen, music is the best thing to be, the passion shows through clearly on all of us when we are passionate about one thing on it. And that character Philip Seymour Hoffman was playing was a guy, now he was really a curmudgeon in real life, Lester Bangs, who wrote for Cream magazine, and he was a guy that was I wouldn't say curmudgeon, he was revolutionary as a music critic, because the Rolling Stone magazine, he wrote for them, but even at some point he was almost too much for them.
Good. I love that.
And Cream magazine was a big 70s, 80s, magazine about music and all that. Anyway.
And so the clip we have here is when William Miller, the character in the movie, who's the teenage Rolling Stone reporter, he calls Philip Seymour Hoffman in the middle of the night and he's looking for advice. And Philip Seymour Hoffman throughout the entire movie is reminding him, you're not supposed to be friends with the band. You're there to be a reporter. You're there to tell the real story. And he says something at the end of this clip that I just thought was one of the most beautiful lines I've ever heard in a movie.
We are uncool. While women will always be a problem for guys like us, most of the great art in the world is about that very problem. Good-looking people, they got no spine. Their art never lasts. And they get the girls. But we're smarter.
Yeah, I can really see that now.
Yeah, because great art is about guilt and longing and love disguises sex, and sex disguises love. Hey, let's face it. You got a big head start.
I'm glad you were home.
I'm always home. I'm uncool. Me too. You're doing great. The only true currency in this bankrupt world is what you share with someone else when you're uncool.
Think about that. The only true currency in this bankrupt world is what you share with someone else when you're uncool. That's the most beautiful thing I've ever heard. Because all I want to do is have somebody that cares about me enough to when I hear a song that I like, I can tell them a little factoid, and they go, oh, that's interesting. And then we move on, because I'm uncool, because I have factoids. I love it. I love to give a little fun fact.
See how cool movies are? You didn't even know this line existed.
I know. And it really profoundly hit me, that line. The only true currency in this bankrupt world is what you share with someone else when you're uncool.
See, I take away from that scene is it's like, I'm always home. I'm uncool.
Well, that's the life I've been living.
Table for one?
One key.
All right, so let's land the plane on this. Sounds like you loved Almost Famous.
It's a movie that I loved when I watched it for the first time yesterday. I imagine I'm going to watch it again this weekend, and if not this weekend, then next weekend. And I think it's just going to become one of those movies that is currently in rotation in my house. I thought the characters were great. I thought the dialogue was great. I thought the story was great. The soundtrack, even if it's music that is not particularly for me, I thought the soundtrack worked with the movie so well.
And I can even say we didn't even get to I Am a Golden God.
Didn't get to I Am a Golden God. Didn't get to the botched T-shirt scene, which is what I'm going to rate this movie out of, which is botched T-shirts.
And we didn't get to one of the most emotional scenes for me in a movie is when they're on the bus after the I Am the Golden God scene, and they're all angry at each other. And then they start singing the Elton John, Tiny Dancer. Hold me closer, and they all bond together.
Dancer.
Yeah.
I don't have the audio from that scene because it's just them singing Tiny Dancer, but you're right. It's a really beautiful scene.
It'd just be that.
Who was it that thought it was Hold Me Closer, Tony Danza? Was that from Friends?
It's from Michael Scott.
All right,
The Office.
so you're rating this in what now, the T-shirts?
In botched T-shirts.
Which, by the way, maybe we have to, I know we're running a little bit higher. In that scene, and Kenzie, I don't know if you remember in the movie, they get the concert shirts. They're so excited about their first shirts. And the singer, Jason Lee, is pissed off because the shirt comes out and goes, what's wrong with this shirt? And because he's not even in the shirt in the background. And the guitar player played by Billy Crudup goes, you're going to make a thing out of this, aren't we? He sits back going, like, okay, we're going to have to argue about this for about 3 hours. No, it's always been your band. It's your, I'm the singer. I connect.
You're supposed to be the mysterious guitar man.
Yeah. I look at the one guy not having a good time, and I make that guy happy in the crowd. It's that oh my God, that scene is so good.
And then he looks at the kid, he's like, and you can print that.
you can print that.
Jason Lee should have won an Oscar for Best Supporting Actor in this movie. He's unreal.
All the things he's been in, he doesn't get enough credit for this movie.
I'm with you. And for My Name is Earl, which is an all-timer. So anyways,
you keep saying My Name is Earl, and people are texting in every other movie. Obviously, the Jay and Silent Bob stuff he's done and everything.
I did Mallrats last year, but I know him from My Name is Earl.
Which is a phenomenal show.
It's great.
All right, here we go. In the T-shirts you're doing, the botched T-shirts?
Botched T-shirts, Almost Famous. I feel very, very comfortable giving this movie 8 botched T-shirts out of 10.
Wow. I thought you were going to get to 8 on this one.
If you haven't seen it, you got to carve time out of your Friday night. Watch this movie. Watch it with the family. It's relatively kid-friendly. Maybe PG-13. It's a PG-13 movie.
There's a drug overdose scene in the bathtub.
There's a drug overdose scene in every movie.
Spoiler alert, Brian.
Oh, sorry, Kenzie. Sorry. It's Brian and Kenzie on Q101. Next week, Spinal Tap in honor of Spinal Tap 2 coming into theaters next week. Case's movie review every Friday at 8 with Brian and Kenzie on Q101.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.